This recipe is packed with flavor and good looks. And why I'm doing this, because I found this noodle, Wu Mu dry noodles. The texture is like unbelievable. It's so much better than any dry pasta. It's just when you chew it, the texture, I can't even explain how it's firm, yet it's soft. It just feels so good chewing it. So I figured let's put a lot of items in there, and this has to be a colorful plate. So this is what we have. I was leaning towards chicken, and I go, you know what? I saw this piece of boar's head keilbasa. Boar's head's good product. Nice looking pork, center cut pieces. Gonna julienne them, and it's all gonna be seasoned with ginger, mushrooms, red onion, fresh spinach, carrots, garlic, topped off with shaved pieces of toasted seaweed when we serve it. Sriracha hot chili sauce, sesame oil after everything is cooked, liquid aminos in the place of soy sauce, but you can use soy sauce, scallions at the end, some fresh asparagus. So there's quite a few items, and it's not a difficult dish. All the vegetables I'm going to saute al dente. Then the sausage and the pork, we'll just saute that quickly, because the keilbasa, of course, is cooked. And when I cut the pork, thin pieces, how long does that take to cook? Just a minute or two. And then boiling up the noodle, not washing the noodles off, because we don't want it to be watery, and putting everything into a bowl, tossing it all together, and then setting it up for the microwave to eat later on in the evening. So how simple is that? Let me get started. Now for me, the difficult part was just slicing everything as thin as possible. The peppers long julienne, because the Wu-Mu noodles are very long. So when you make things long like this julienne, they'll tend to wrap around the noodle. It'll look better. And the red onion, the same thing, fine julienne. And the asparagus, I leave the very tips whole, but part of the stem I cut in half or sometimes in 4 pieces. And the garlic and the ginger and the carrots. I'm going to saute this al dente. Put it into a colander, because there might be some like water coming out of the peppers and the mushrooms, which I don't want in the noodle. We're going to saute this in peanut oil, and then later season it with a little sesame oil. Let me get started now. And I made an addition. I saw these in the refrigerator and I go, well, you know, these grape tomatoes look very nice. So these will be tossed in at the end with the fresh spinach. I have the flame on high. I'm putting the peanut oil in there. I'm going to saute. Oh, I love the aroma of the peanut oil. And after this sautés for a few minutes, putting it into the colander like I said, and let all of the liquid drain off. Going to put a little bit of salt in here. I'm using my good sea salt. Happens to be a great brand. I don't own the company, but You see how it comes out? It's not really white, which means it hasn't been refined as much. And this is on super high. And now you have to look at all the ingredients in here. And you're still going to add the tomato and the spinach. So with the noodles, which are white, it'll be a beautiful looking dish and full of flavor. How can you go wrong with garlic, ginger, and all of these vegetables? It seemed like a lot, but look how it's reducing already in size. And I'm going to cook 1 pound of the noodle. So this is like a 3-step thing. After this, I'll put this into the colander. I'll take the pork and the sausage and quickly do a similar saute just like this. And I'll just throw that into the colander also. So the grease and some of the liquid will just flow into the sink from the sausage, and also nothing. Peanut oil really smells great, and it doesn't burn. I think that peanut oil is the one that you could cook as hot as you want and it won't burn. So we're letting the camera run on this so you see how long it takes. Notice the vegetables, how they're wilting. So we're going to shut this off now. Take it over to the sink. That's it. Shut it off. We're done. We don't want mushy vegetables. Slight error on my part. We don't want to forget the spinach. That will take about 20 seconds. As soon as it wilts a little, it's done. There, it's disappearing as we speak. We'll throw the tomatoes in. Now we're done. The spinach doesn't have to cook 100%. That's it. We'll continue with the sausage. Now you notice something about the boar's head sausage? Look, you don't see as much fat as you do in the other brands. You're getting more meat. That's why it costs more. And the pork I cut like so. And we'll sprinkle a little salt. The peanut oil is in. And now we'll cook this. This won't take long at all. Starting off with the pork since it's raw, and then I will add the keilbasa to it towards the end. And you don't have to eat pork well done. That was like 100 years ago. It can be pink. And then, of course, it'll be a little more juicy. And even though we're going to heat this up in the microwave, it's really not going to cook the pork anymore unless you leave it in the microwave too long. That's it, because now we'll put in the sausage. Mix this up good. I'm just going to put a little bit of the sriracha hot chili sauce on there. Did you know, like in '92, that ketchup stopped being the most used condiment? Guess who took over? Salsa. And that I think they said Tabasco sauce is increasing in sales 25% a year. And look at all the different hot sauces. Because we have a huge population of Mexicans that live here and other peoples that love hot sauce, and so do I. And that's it, that's done. Pour that onto the vegetables and all that juice and grease. Okay, as you see, the water is boiling. And we have 1 pound of this beautiful noodle. So put it in, don't just throw it in like so. Put it in like this, and it won't be sticking together. And this is only going to take a few minutes. Even though it's a dry noodle, for whatever reason, it cooks fast. That's it. Now I have a problem. I have to transfer everything out of the colander because we need it for this. You taste this water before you put the noodles in, and make sure that you do taste a little bit of salt. That means the noodle all by itself has a nice flavor. If you don't put enough salt in there, it affects the finished dish. And just to show you, this is all of the drippings from the colander, all the fat and a little bit of water. Like so. Just don't leave it alone. And if you notice, we're really not sticking together because of the way the noodle was placed into the pot. And if you use a wide pot like this, it's also easier to cook the noodle than it is in a tall one. And this recipe will feed 4 people. We have a few pieces here stuck together. See if we can undo them. It's rather hot. Now it's going to boil, and not much more I can do about the few pieces that might be stuck together. As you see, it looks pretty good. So this is going to go in the colander. Then immediately it's going to go into my large bowl. Then I'm going to toss everything. Season it up with a little sesame oil and a little liquid aminos, or you can use soy sauce. And we're done. Okay, so it's a little bit involved, but you can't have anything that looks good and tastes good sometimes without spending a lot of time. And the prep time on this is what is most important. Oh, cut everything up the day before. Then you're all set. Everything. Then you just walk in the next day after work maybe, or maybe you don't work, and just, okay, let's have this nice dinner. You cut out the meat part of it, and it's a beautiful vegetarian meal. But it's not gluten-free. Now we have the flavor, don't forget. The peanut oil flavor is already on there. And then mixed with the sesame, because the sesame oil you always put on after the cooking, because you lose it or it changes flavor while it's cooking. So we're going to take a piece, and I think it's done. See how soft it is? It's a little bit al dente. I'll wait another 10-15 seconds. And we are on our way to the sink. Okay, cut the camera. We're going now. Looking at all the ingredients, it's a possibility this might be quite full. So, remember, do not rinse the pasta, because if you rinse the pasta, then everything's going to be wet. And let's see how nice this is going to be. Okay, now we have to work on this a little bit. And it just fits this bowl nicely. We're going to put the sesame oil. I'm not measuring it, but look, it doesn't take a lot for the flavor. That's enough. And the liquid aminos, or the soy sauce. Now we see about tossing this. This is what takes a little delicate. It smells good. I already smelled the soy, and now a little sriracha hot sauce. Now if you had a larger bowl, you could mix this easily, but I don't. So, okay, I'm going to cut the camera and I'm going to keep on mixing this, and then when I'm done, I'll turn the film back on. No sense in watching me toss this, because I'll probably toss it on the floor. That took me a good 5 minutes. Now, to finish it off, we'll just sprinkle. That's the 2 sheets of dry seaweed, the same seaweed you use for making sushi. So we'll just sprinkle this. Now this is hot enough to serve. You know, the noodles, the vegetables were still very, very warm in the colander. And then we'll also have the nicely shaved scallions on a bias. Now that's done. What I'm going to do is wrap that. And then the rest, put in some quart containers and put them in the refrigerator. And since I'm off tomorrow, I'll have it again. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's see what it looks like on a plate. Because we're looking down into it right now. And you get a better perspective of what it is. If you put it on a plate without making a mess. These noodles are like so good. And there you go. I think I'm going to eat this one right now. I hope you enjoy it.